Hello. So, I said I was going to do this, and, well, here we go. So, starters, you may be wondering why this video is entitled Counter Monkey. And it's because Counter Monkey, so you know, is it's a web series done by the Spoony one, Noah Antweiler. And in his very first episode of Counter Monkey, he mentioned that what it was originally supposed to be was a collection of short stories from various gamers about various adventures they've had while playing, Dungeons & Dragons, Shadowrun, other types of role-playing games such as that, pen and paper style. And so I'm not sure he's still doing that, where he's taking stories from other people, but I'm using the name because, I want this to be known. This is in the same vein that I want to share these types of stories with people. And, I'm going to share a story not of Dungeons & Dragons, but of GURPS. And for those of you who do not know what GURPS is, GURPS stands for Generic Universal Role Playing System. And it's not very generic, it's actually very detailed. And it doesn't mean complex, because the rules are actually very simple. It just gets complex when you add in optional rules. So the idea with the optional rules for GURPS is that, the more optional rules you enforce, the more realistic the game is. So, for example, an optional rule could be no, you need to be able to map out the fact that a bone is shattered after you get shot in the shoulder by a gun. You got to map out how that's going to heal. GURPS is actually very interesting in that, unlike a lot of games, it only uses, I'm going to pull out a die here, it only uses the D6. Your simple 6-sided die. Versus a game like Dungeons & Dragons that uses a bunch of different types of dice. Your D20, your D4, your D8, D12, D100, which is really just a marble. And then you got that. And so GURPS is you have your base rulebook, and then you have about 600 different sets of books filled with this is a book entirely about Aztecs. This is a book entirely about steampunk. This is a book entirely about cyberpunk, And so that's important to know for what's about to come up with the story. And this is a story of the greatest GURPS character I have ever made. And I made him technically by accident. Because I didn't know what I was doing. Because I figured everybody else was doing the same shit. So, it's finals week, it's this is back in spring's finals week, and a friend of mine, she comes to me, she's like, hey, I'm running a GURPS game, would you like to join? I was like, yeah, sure. She's like, awesome. She told me we were going to meet after finals, told me where, told me when. She goes off, and then about 2 days later, I realize, oh, fuck, she did not tell me what books we're using. So I tried to get a hold of her, but it's finals, I can't get a hold of her. And, but she did tell me how many points we were using. And GURPS uses points for how you make your game. Or your character, rather. So it's it was this absurdly high amount of points. I don't remember the exact number, but it was holy shit, this is way past everybody being epic level. This is we're going to punch a black hole in the face, and we're going to be perfectly fine types of, oh god. What kind of characters are you going to create? And so, so I'm trying to figure this out. I'm well, I need to make a character that'll fit in about any setting, regardless. So I'm thinking I come up with two ideas, either a luchador or a lumberjack. And I went with the lumberjack. A lumberjack with over 300 strength and over 600 DT. Now, for comparison, when it comes to strength, a T-Rex has a strength of 150. 300 strength is I'm going to pick up a skyscraper and use it like a baseball bat to bat a comet back at Earth, back out of the Earth's atmosphere. And as for DT, that is your damage threshold, which means you have to deal more points of damage than that in order to damage me. For reference, a werewolf has 6 DT on weapons not made out of silver. So that should give you an idea that 60D is like, oh god, you need to like chuck an explosive at it in order for it to actually do anything. And I have 600. Well, it's over 600. Or I'm just gonna say 600 because it's easier for right now. And so, GURPS, the way GURPS, so I put all my points into Strength, GT, and Skill with using an axe as a weapon. And so how that works in GURPS that way, if you have 1 skill with using an axe as a weapon, then you take 1d6 and you roll it, and that's your attack. If you have 2, then you roll 2 dice. If you got 3, you roll 3. So on and so forth. I have over 300 skill, so I bring with me, a bucket of dice. And they're like, oh, you got a bucket of dice you're sharing? Like, no, I need this. So like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm confused. Like, it'll make sense soon. I was like, are you confused? What the fuck? It'll make sense soon. We're getting up our characters, we're all we're meeting the new member of the team, and it's a cyberpunk game. Like, oh, fuck, cyberpunk. Everybody else is sired up about the ass. Now, as it turns out, the insane number of points was actually because my wonderful friend had created a spreadsheet, and she had made her own point listings for how many points you need to buy certain cybernetics. And she had given that out to everybody. If she had given me that list, I would have figured out, oh, we're doing cyberpunk. But she didn't. So, before she does anything, she immediately slaps herself on the forehead. She just goes, I'm an idiot. I forgot to tell you what we're doing and give you the sheet. Do you want to make a new character, I feel a little underpowered, I'm sitting there going, no, I'm fine. Trying to keep it together because, all of a sudden I realized, my character is a god. My character can one-hit Zeus at this point. I haven't even done anything yet. And so, we start walking out. So it's like, okay, so we do these things like, I am Mr. Johnson. We want you to go to this building and steal this corporation's new software. Put it on this thumb drive and delete it off their main computers. We're all like, we can do this. My character's sitting there they're like, oh, by the way, who is this new member of your team? And I stand up, I go, my name's Manly Dan the Lumberjack. For those of you who do not know who Manly Dan is, that is the name of Wendy's father from Gravity Falls. I shamelessly ripped it off that name. I do not care. He is Manly Dan the Lumberjack, and you have to say it like that because it's like saying it in all caps when you do that. You just got it, because it makes more sense to do it like that. Anyways, so we're going through this. And the way that it's set up is to where there's like missile turrets like pointed at us from the front door. We're supposed to climb the building and then go up from the top and go down to the bottom to get the stuff. So we're trying to figure out how to do that, and I'm just like, okay, bitch, please. I walk forward. I'm just going, doom, doom. I got me a woodcutter's axe. Just keep going. Missiles start being shot at me, and they're like, well, apparently he's suicidal. Let's watch the show. And my character, Manly Dan, he takes the fucking axe, and he starts redirecting the missiles around him like he's fucking Neo or some shit. He's going, like, the missiles are flying all around, like, being redirected back at the turrets, get up to this giant, titanium reinforced door, take the axe, cut the lock open, push open the door, and was just watching this going, what the fuck? I'm just sitting there going, I'm the Lumberjack, and that's okay. We just go in, we got the stuff, we leave. And at this point, my friend's going, okay, I need to kill Manly Dan because he is fucking OP. So she sends a tank at me that shoots plasma. And the thing about plasma tanks is that they shoot plasma, and plasma you cannot redirect because it's fucking plasma. It's not a solid, it's a whole different state of matter completely in the standard 3. So what ends up happening is Manly Dan sends goes, takes the plasma shot to the chest, his clothes end up burning up, but not a single one of his manly chest hairs was singed. And he just tanked that, because it did 300 damage. You should be fucking dead with that. 600 DT. Doesn't even faze me. Doesn't do enough to even make me go. It's just no problem. So I'm just sitting there going, manly Dan! You know, take the axe, and cut the whole fucking thing in half. Just clean it in half. It's like, dunk, dunk. And, we're just walking, just walk away, and all the other players, and they're going, how? I'm just sitting there going, I didn't buy any cybernetics. Like, not any? Not any. Like, why not? Because she forgot to tell me what game we're playing. And they're like, okay, that's fine, whatever. We'll just stick behind you. We'll handle the hacking and shit for when you can't just use your axe for everything. That's perfectly fine by me. And so we end up going, the campaign's going through, and we just keep on getting more and more shit sent at us, because fucking hell, Manly Dan is a monster and needs to be stopped, apparently. Now, at one point, aliens are attacking, like 1950s style UFO flying saucer type shit. Little green men. They're fucking like the fucking sectoids in XCOM, They're fucking psychic and shit, so like, we're fighting them. The mothership lands, and out comes the leader, and he's like reading into our minds, like going, and just like, and Manly is sitting there going, no. And so, like, the aliens are peering into the mind, and everybody's like, we know who you are, Manly Dan. We know what you have become. Or should we use your true name? Paul Bunyan. And I stop for a moment, and I look at my good friend, and I tell her, you know what, no, I agree, this is fucking canon. I'm playing fucking Paul Bunyan now. One of the American gods. It's like, Walter White says, like, you're goddamn right. Cuts the UFO in half, picks up one half of it, chucks it up at another UFO, picks the other half, chucks it up at the other. Everyone's playing Cyberpunk, meanwhile I'm sitting here going, I'm a pulp superhero. And yeah, so eventually, that campaign died down because people started dying because they got caught in the crossfire, started making other insanely overpowered characters. The first one to die was the guy who was literally a brain in a jar, and he made Pecos Bill. That was good fun. Next person died, it was our heavy weapons guy. Completely useless in the situation. He's like, well, I need to be something badass. Like, you know what? Nah. I'm be John Henry. A steel driving man with a big ass fucking hammer. So eventually we just became a bunch of, like, icons of, American tall tales. And eventually we all just were playing pulp superhero in this very serious, very grim, dark cyberpunk future dystopian setting. And, campaign ends, as all campaigns do, for one reason or another. And, we're just having a grand old time. And then that's it. That's just my story of Manly Dan, the Lumberjack. It's not a story of like any particular session or anything. It's just the general arc of the character of being a mistake transformed into a god. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you all next time, I guess. Bye, internet. And I don't know, subscribe. Do it. I don't fucking know. I'm not your mother. You can do what you want with life.